The next thing we can do with squaring is algebraic notation. Now, algebraic notation is when we use letters in the place of numbers. So let's look at this square right here. Simple standard square. I'm going to break it up into a binomial. All right, so I've got that there. I've got this here. I've created two squares here. And I'm going to color them in. So I know this, I use the same colors as the binomial cube in the classroom. Oops. So we've got one, got the red here. We know that these two are the same size. I'm going to shade that in lightly gray. Okay. And then I'll get out my blue. Okay. Now notice that I colored this first before labeling anything, and that's okay. Now I could just count these numbers, or the number of squares that this, or units that this square is defined by, the dimensions. But instead we're using algebraic notation. So instead of calling this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm going to call this A. And instead of calling this 3, I'm going to call this B. So how would I then describe the dimensions of this square here? Well, it's A times A, which I could call A squared. Now then, how would I describe this rectangle? Well, it's A times B, which I could just write the letters next to each other. When the two letters are next to each other in algebra, that means that you multiply them together. Then when we look at this rectangle here, I know that it's A times B. And then here I have B times B, or B squared. So in algebraic notation, I would call this A squared plus AB plus AB plus B squared. I could also simplify this a bit, seeing as though I have two ABs. I could just write this: A squared plus 2AB plus B squared.